Hello, you guys. Hello. I think the last time I was on this account, I was talking about moving from Vegas to California. No, literally, I'm in California. I moved again, but I'm in California. I'm in LA. So the first time I moved to East Hollywood. And I lived in like a co-living space. It was pretty like, it was an easy transition from Vegas to like California. Rent wasn't bad at all, honestly. Rent wasn't bad. I just had one payment. I didn't pay utilities or anything like that. And just I needed something to get me started off here. And then from there I was able to move to my own little studio. So that's pretty cool. I love that. And I'm enjoying California. There are some things I noticed about California that are kind of like, this is definitely different from the South, or just different from like other places in general. Like, one thing about California, excuse me, it's really cool and it's nice and everything. And I love how like big it is. I love that there's so much to do. I feel like the vibes are also pretty cool, but everything about California, like not everything, but a lot about California feels fabricated and fake. Like everything, like I think when I first moved to Cali, everyone's like, "Oh, what's your Instagram?" And I feel like they think that they're getting a gist of who I am based off my Instagram. I have 300 followers on my Instagram because I deleted my last account when I left home. I don't post much on my Instagram. When I do, I'm not like trying to get the perfect angles. I'm not like here to be an Instagram baddie, you know what I mean? So I feel like they are judging based off my Instagram, but I'm like, this is just Instagram. That's not an accurate representation of who I am, just like everyone else's Instagram that looks all like nice and spruced up. It's not an accurate representation of who they are or what they're making. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I noticed that they take socials very, very serious here. Everyone trying to be an influencer, bitch. Oh, excuse me. But everyone's trying to be an influencer, like, and I feel like it kind of like deterred me from wanting to post anything at all, because I'm like, I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to be an influencer, and like I don't get many likes, I don't get any like, I don't get claps for it at all, honestly. And I'm kind of like learning to be fine with that, because it's like I feel like when I got here and I saw like, oh, everyone's getting like hundreds of likes on their pictures and I'm only getting like 20, it made me like shy away from wanting to post. And I'm like, but why? Like, you never cared about that until you moved here, which is true. Which is true. It's like I partially cared, but not enough to make me not want to post. You know what I mean? So I noticed everything is kind of like superficial in that way, where it's like, how are you on the outside? And if you're pretty enough, we'll be your friend. We can do this for you. Everything is like transactional, but the currency is social status and beauty. I'm sorry, that's what I learned. I kind of learned like how to utilize my beauty in social status a little bit more. Because I feel like leaving Florida, that wasn't something I really thought about. Like, oh, beauty is currency. I didn't think about that at all. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. So when I moved to California, I kind of realized I'm like, oh, beauty is currency. You need to look a little more dolled up. You need to like, granted, I'm not gonna go outside of like my norm. Like, I'm not the kind of person, I'm not a high maintenance girly. Much as I hate to say it, because I really want to be one of those, but it's just not the case. Like, it's just not me. I'm not a person that wants to get their nails done every 2 weeks. I don't want to wear lashes all the time, because honestly, I want to rub my eyes. I don't want lip filler. I don't want I don't want lip filler. And I just don't really like, I don't care for those beauty standards. And I feel like if you don't care for that here in California, you're very much outcasted. Which I'm kind of like fine with, because it's like I still get along with everyone. Like when I pop out, I can like, I wear light makeup. I might put some blush on. I might put some like lashes, lash clusters on. Might fill in my brows, heavy on the mic, but I will wear lip gloss. And it's like, that's kind of what I do. And I mean, it works fine for me, but I know like, I could just feel like if I gave in to like the temptation of like the beauty standards that they have here, I'd be way more than what I am now. But it's just like, that's too much for me. It's not really what I care to be like, you know what I mean? Another thing I noticed about California, they have no manners. They don't have any manners. Like, they don't even teach manners. Like, I like work with children, and working with children, the children don't even have manners. I'm talking like not three, 4 going on 5 years old, 6 years old. They don't even have manners. They don't know to say please. They don't know to say thank you. They don't know to not interrupt people when they're speaking. They don't know how to say excuse me. They don't know any of that. And I'm like working with them. I'm just like literally, there was a girl, I literally did this on purpose. So I want to see how she would react just to prove my point. I was conducting my own little experiment. So I sit down in her seat, and she just standing next to me looking at me like, and I'm just like, she just like grabs her stuff and slowly starts walking away. And she's like, well, it looks like there's no space here. And I'm just like smiling at her like, so what does that mean? She's like, well, I guess I have to sit somewhere else because I can't fit here. There's no space. And I'm like, girl, you can say excuse me. that's what you would say if that ever happens to you. Just say excuse me. And so she was like, excuse me, you know. And I get up and everything, but I'm like, and they don't. The little kids here, they don't like to share. Not that I'm actually trying to take their like snacks or their goods or their toys or anything, but it's just like I like to test the kids out. Like, where are your heart at? Like, how are you as a person? They don't really share much over here. So I'll be like, they'll be eat a snack, and I'll be like, oh, can I have some? No, it's mine. Now, if you do that, if I conducted that same test in Florida, the kids they're offering up you their slobbery Cheetos, their wet sticky gummy bears. They're offering it up because they like to share. So I noticed that was another thing that's different here. The kids don't really care to share. The adults also they're a little stingy. Oh, but don't get me started on the men. Actually, I think I'm gonna make that a whole separate video. Dating in California or dating in LA when you're not from LA, because that's a whole experience. I thought it would be better than Vegas, and honestly, they're kind of the same. I will say the guys in Vegas were just a bit dustier than the ones over here. Like, at least the ones over here care about their appearance a little more. Like, they want to look a little more polished, you know? But at the same time, they ain't they ain't nothing, you know? And they're a little more, like, I'm not going to say feminine, because it's not that they're feminine, but, like, a little softer. They're a little softer than, like, the guys in Florida. So that was, like, a huge, like, culture shock to me. But yeah, no, I'm just here to say I'm going to get back to posting. I actually have 2 video ideas that I want to post after this one. Well, not tonight, but like, okay, so the next video will either be dating men in California, or it'll be my first time dating a white man. Because I've never dated a white man until I got to this state, y'all. The state will do it to you, because I'm just like, dang, the men here got me to the point where I was like, okay, I gotta try something different, because this is not working. Like, something is in the water that the blacks is drinking, and I don't want to drink that same water real quick. Let me just test out the vibes. So I think maybe the next video should be that, like, the differences I noticed with like dating white men versus black men. And I'm just like a lot more open to like that. But like, it's been quite the experience. I am employed. I have a car now. I'm starting to establish like a friend group. Not even a friend group, but I'm starting to establish friends. I was actually supposed to be out tonight with a friend, getting some drinks at the bar, but like the craziest shit happened to her when she was on the way to me, and I'm like, what the fuck? Literally, she's driving, then I get a text from her, and she's like, bro, a tire flew into my windshield and shattered the whole thing. Are you okay? So that was, we moved that to Saturday, because it's okay. I understand. So it's like, I feel like my life is kind of starting to get established, but there's still a weird sense of like, I don't feel like at home, so to say. But then again, it's like, I am moderately homesick, and I think about going home to Florida, but then at the same time, it's like what I'm homesick for doesn't exist anymore. So what I'm homesick for doesn't exist anymore. Like, the home that I remember, everything is so different now. So it's like, if I went back, I think I would get more sad going back home and realizing I don't know this home. But like, I do think about Florida a lot. California is a bit chillier than I would like. I thought it was warmer here. I didn't know y'all be in the 60s. I'm sorry, like, I'm still a Floridian at my core and in my heart. And granted, I've been out of Florida for 2 whole years now. Crazy, for 2 whole years now. But like, whenever I'm outside, if it's not like 74 and up, I have a sweater on. I'm covered up because I'm cold. So I feel like it's hard for me to really like acclimate to my the new weather circumstances, because I'm always gonna bundle up to make me warm. And I remember one time I was on a date, and I had like a sweater on and like a skirt and a crop top, and we're inside the bar, and he's like touching, rubbing my back, and he's like, oh, you're sweating, you gotta take this off. I'm like, no, I need to feel this. Like, I feel good. Like, I take the sweater off, and because I like, my back was a little sweaty, it's like even colder, and I'm like, I'm actually really cold now. I get that I'm sweating, but like, I like a more humid state. I like feeling warm. I'm not like hot, you know what I mean? If I was uncomfortable hot, I would take the sweater off. I got a great body, I would want to show it, but like, I'm kind of chilly, you know? So the weather is another thing I noticed. The beaches in California, girl, the beaches in California are cold as hell. They're cold as freak. I was not expecting that. Like, I was so excited to go to the beach. When I went there and it was cold, I was kind of gagged. I was like, oh, we can go now. I've seen it. I see the beach, we can literally leave. Like, I'm actually cold, and they don't get in the water over here. Like, in Florida, the beaches, everybody in the water. Everybody know to get in the water. We boogie boarding. We got floaties on like the lake, you know? And it's funny because at work, I was talking to like girls or whatever, and I was like, she's like, what's something that you would bring to a beach? And I was like, floaties. And she's like, what? I'm like, floaties, they're gonna get in the water in the floaties. Like, yeah. She's like, no one brings floaties to the beach. Yes, they do. She was talking about, yes, they do. She's like, no, they don't. And I was like, where y'all using floaties at, not the beach? She said the pool, and just the pool. But now I understand the beaches here are so cold and they're not really that fun. But I'm still exploring like great beaches. But stay tuned for my next stories and my next videos. I think I'll do the story time on, I'm gonna mix the two, dating in California and my first time dating a white man. Because it's like they kind of go hand in hand, so that'll be really fun. I can't wait to tell y'all that story. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. Love you all. See you soon.